Hey, this is John with thenetguy.com, and I'm here to install the Uniden U-Bell video doorbell. This doorbell will increase the safety and security of your home and give you a little peace of mind when you're away that everything's going good at your home. So we're going to go through the steps needed to install this video doorbell in replacement of the original doorbell that came with your home. You may need an optional transformer that you can purchase. I'm going to go through where you can buy these at a very good discount and the things to watch out for when you set them up. Okay, so for the first step in checking to see if your doorbell is compatible with the Uniden is to press the button. You should hear a sound from your doorbell chime and it should not repeat. There you go, and you heard it again when we let go of it. That's because this simple switch is powering an electromagnet that causes a cylinder to move back and forth and runs your doorbell. There's an AC transformer that's in series with this switch, and I'm going to show you how we can open this up. This is low voltage AC, so you don't have to worry about electrocuting yourself. In this case, there's only 10 volts. So I'm going to take these two screws out, top and bottom, to expose the wiring. Depending on how long it's been on here, you may need to break the paint that's holding it there. And you want to be very careful not to damage the switch or to lose these very small wires behind it here. So there are the wires that we're exposing. And we can undo the wires from the back side here. And again, it's just a simple switch, so these wires are just making contact. You could leave it like this if you really want to impress your FedEx guy, and you can touch the two wires together and run your doorbell. There you go. So the next thing that we're going to test for is to make sure that the voltage of our transformer is enough to run the Uniden U-Bell. It needs between 16 and 24 volts AC to run, and most older transformers that come with houses are between 10 and 16, even lower than that in some cases. So in this case, I actually picked up a transformer with three outputs. It's got 18 volts, 16 volts, or 24 volts. And so we're going to replace the inside transformer with this new one, but I'm going to show you how you can get a reading if you have a multimeter. If you don't have a multimeter, I recommend picking one of these up at Amazon. For this purpose, it doesn't have to be a super high quality one. This just happens to be a nice one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these leads, I'm going to make sure it's on volts AC, that's that squiggly line. And I'm going to touch it to those wires. I'm being careful not to touch the wires myself, but I'm touching these two leads to some non-painted. And you can see it's actually showing about 15, 7, almost 16 volts AC. This is an unloaded amount, so there's nothing in the circuit anymore because we've opened that circuit up, that switch isn't connecting it. So that amount of just transient AC, it's actually a 10 volt transformer inside that I'll show you. Another thing that I would highly recommend is, because we're going to be turning this off, that we work with a buddy and have them at the circuit breaker once you've found where your transformer is, and use a multimeter to be sure that you've turned off the right electrical circuit. Once you turned off the right electrical circuit, this will go to 0 or near 0. And that's when you know you've got the right one. So stick around. The next step is to find the transformer and then turn it off. So the homeowner is at the circuit panel and he's going to do the work of turning off the circuit breaker for me. Okay, ready? You got it. So that was the right circuit, and now you see there's just trace voltage left on that circuit. We don't have to worry about being electrocuted now when we do this. We're going to go inside and we're going to change out the transformer for the one that I brought with me. So in the next few pictures I'm going to show you how we replace the transformer. It's really hard to get video in here. We located the transformer in a hallway closet near the front door, And the wall chime is on the other side of this transformer almost exactly. And this transformer is like a regular outlet. You'll notice as we take the wires off, it's just two simple screws, that the wiring for a traditional outlet is behind this. And the wiring colors were interesting here. It's black and black. And so those wiring colors were a non-grounded transformer, which I don't think would be code today. And our new replacement's actually safer. So it's a really simple swap. You simply take the plate that's here on the one left side of the original transformer and you loosen that back screw. And the new transformer has a very similar mounting mechanism. You run your wires through the open hole. You tighten the screw on that side as I show here, and you've replaced it. And then the wire colors, if you don't have white, black, and copper, goes to green. So you can see here, it's the two twisted wires that don't have any plastic on them. If you don't have that, then you should consult an electrician. But if you do, you can see here, I've just connected them directly to the corresponding wire colors, and then tuck those wires safely and neatly back into the outlet box, and then put the transformer cover back on the outlet box with the new transformer on the outside. And here you're going to have to spend special attention to make sure that you connect up at least the 16 volts. So the way that this works is there's an 8 volt, a 16 volt, and a 24 volt set of wires. So if you do the top two, it's 8. If you do the bottom two, it's 16. And if you cross over, you get basically double. You get both of those coils. And so in this case, we just want the bottom because we don't need to go up to 24. And that's just for the chime and the other items. We don't know what their total rating was. So we did just the 16 volts here, just enough to run the unit. And then you attach the wires directly to those two poles and make sure that the wires don't touch each other. I was really careful here that they didn't touch because we didn't want those wires to cross in any way. And that's the transformer wiring. Okay, so we have replaced the transformer and now we're putting out 16 volts of AC. I'm going to clean these connections off. You have a couple choices when it comes to wiring the camera in. This has got a really small hole, so it's going to make it a little bit difficult to do some of the things the way we wanted. But I'm actually going to wire the doorbell to the existing wiring, and then we're going to take, and later, this is that lap siding, horizontal lap siding. It's at an angle, so if I take the U-bell right now as it is, and I put it here, it's going to be at an upward angle, so that'll work temporarily, but I would rather actually have it at a flat angle. So we're going to work on making a back plate for it later. But for now, we're going to install it with just the existing wires. Now here's a trick about this. They do have some wire junctions that you can put in there. There's a weather gasket and a few other things. I'm going to show you how to do this. You can actually take, when you get this, to take it off, use the buttons and use your fingers to get leverage to get it off. And I'm going to show you, you can take the screws out of the back and you can actually mount your existing wiring right to those terminals. And then this top and bottom is where your mounting screws go. So I'm going to start that. Always make sure that you get the right size screwdriver. So these little tiny Phillips heads in here, you're going to need a really small one. For the larger mounting screws, make sure you use a larger Phillips head. So for now, I'm going to back off these smaller mounting screws. Now it doesn't matter, believe it or not, which wire goes to which because it's alternating current. That's one of the convenient things about this, is even though the wires may or may not be color coded in your instance, it doesn't matter which wire goes to which, like I said. As long as one wire goes to each. So I'm going to make sure that they're wrapped around and have good contact. And I'm going to secure each one. Now there is a weather gasket that comes with this, and normally I would recommend doing the wiring completely and have it all done that way, but because we're going to come back and we're going to fix the lap siding and put an adapter in here, I'm not going to install all that because a lot of it is one-time use. Okay, I'm going to make sure those wires go back in the hole as straight as they can. This can be difficult, and we want to make sure that the wires are not touching each other when this item is put down. That's very important because it'll actually cause the bell to be on all the time. I'm going to leave a little bit of space at the top for the top of our shield to go through. And screwing in, as you can see, that's the alignment that we have right now. So I'm going to screw in this one screw to hold it in place while we get ready to program and check all the other settings on it. Okay. And we're going to just test fit that the cover does slide over it, so this does work, and it will work for us. Like I said, you can, right now, you can use your fingers to pop the button in and out, and we are ready to turn the unit on for the first time. So you should hear that chime when the circuit is turned back on. That means that the unit's working. And what you're looking for, it's very hard to see in this light, is a red and blue alternating color. So this is the stage where you can now go to the app and you can begin the rest of your installation. So to begin, search for the Uniden 1 application in your iTunes App Store like we are on this iPhone, or you can look at it in your Android store. It's available for both. You do want to allow push notifications. That's so that you can get notified when the doorbell button is pressed. You can select your country. And then this is where it gets a little tricky. So if you log in or you add local, you don't have the device yet, what you need to do is hit the plus in the upper corner there. And then you're going to say scan QR code. And there is a QR code on the front of the device that you'll be scanning next. Just right there, you got it. That's the Uniden model. Device is offline, so we're going to say connect it to a network. Go ahead and put your password in there. So once we've put our Wi-Fi information in, this is going to create a picture that the camera on the Uniden is going to see. So we're going to hit OK, and this QR code we're going to show. I'm actually going to take off the protective cover just to make it a little bit easier. So go ahead and turn that towards the doorbell and hold it about that far away. There you go. Go ahead and say I have scanned. So now, so go ahead and give it a password. This is the password for your device.
This server has been registered.
And hit finish. You're done, believe it or not. So now get it here, we're going to name it front door or doorbell or whatever you want to call it. Front. Good. Save. Ha! You're done. Go ahead and tap it. This is how scary it is. So you tap this again to enlarge. And there we are. Your front door. Okay, so we have installed the doorbell. We've installed a new transformer. We've set up our Wi-Fi using the QR code and it scanned it. We've added it to our account and our phone, and we've actually pressed the button already to test it. So for the installation steps, this has been complete. What you now need to do is decide what color of faceplate you want to match or contrast with the paint color of your home. One thing to remember is there's a security screw that goes on the bottom, and there's a special Torx head bit that they give you so that somebody can't go through here and tamper with your doorbell. Now, obviously this one we did leave one screw off on the bottom. That's because we're going to come back and install a flat plate for this to mount on because we want it to have a more flat view. But even at the slightly upward angle, it's got a great shot. You can see all around the location. So I'm going to show you a demo of the visibility that you can expect from this. when somebody comes to use it. So I'm going to install this cover over top. You can hear it click. I'm going to go to the screw kit that we have that came with it, and I'm going to grab out that security screw. So if you look at your parts kit, there's a resistor here. The resistor is used if you don't have a chime. And one of these screws here is a security screw. It looks like they have several of them. And it's a security Torx, so it's a special screw that has a little tiny dot in the middle, which means that most people that don't have this special screwdriver will not be able to take that screw out. So just remember that if you're ever working on this, that it's a security Torx. And so I'm going to take that security Torx head, as you can see there, and this is got a hole in it, and I'm going to drive that into the screw hole in the bottom, and that's going to prevent people from being able to take the cover off and access the screws and other interior features of the device. So now the device is installed and working, and we're ready to go. Okay, so we've finished installing the Uniden U-Bell doorbell, and everything is working great. I'm going to show you how that we can test it and some of the really cool features about it. First of all, if somebody were hiding parallel to your door, you're going to be able to see them. So even if I don't press the button, when I walk up to the U-Bell, the motion has already set it off. So that's going to start it recording, and it's going to have a clear picture of me. I'm going to press the button, and you can hear dog barking, you can hear the door chime going off, and the homeowner can answer with his cell phone. I'm a package thief. I'm here to steal your packages. If I duck down right here, as long as I can see the doorbell, it can see me. So if I'm hiding in your doorway or I'm hiding in your bushes, you're still going to see that person even before you answer the door. So it's a great security device. In a situation like this door where you don't have a peephole, you can use the doorbell to actually view who's waiting on the other side of your door, including 180 degrees on both sides. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of my video. If you liked what you saw here, do me a solid, hit the like button down below. If you really want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and if you want YouTube to actually let you know they're there, hit the bell. Thanks again, and check out links to these other videos you might like.